Can't see anything without my glasses. That's why Amy went.
Oh, you're like, Amy.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Margaux Drake. Welcome to the October monthly Real Estate Investor Meetup. And today is all about goal setting for 2025. We have quite a few people joining online, and thank you for the in-person attendees. I will be sending out an email tomorrow with all of the tools. We're going to be using some amazing Keller Williams tools, and I brought the books here to reference to after, but the things that we are specifically going to be working on are in the handout. So if you are online, please pop your email into the comments. We'll make sure that you get the follow-up email with the links to everything that you need for tonight. This is taking 5 years of being introduced to the Keller Williams culture and understanding their tools, but using them and failing forward every day, and finally being able to distill it down into a very easy to understand way to be able to set those goals for next year. And a little bit about, so this is goal setting for 2025, and a little bit about me. If you are joining live for the first time, I am a licensed realtor here in West Michigan, builder of multiple 7-figure businesses. Steve and I have gone from negative hundreds of thousands of dollars to completely changing that for our family over a decade of very hard work to be able to do that. I'm an investor, mother of 3 epic humans, and we made a $5,000 real estate investment when we were first married, and we have 100x the equity in that first investment. So that is why I am teaching the class. I want to make sure that my slides are up there appropriately. So we're going to start with a little market update. Everybody is waiting. Everybody is waiting for everything for this election. And so if you are, or if you know anybody that is looking to sell, buy, or invest, the idea is to get on it now, because everybody is waiting for the election. Then everyone's going to be waiting until the end of the beginning of the year, and then everyone's going to be waiting for the spring market. And as you can see, you're going to be up against huge competition when everybody decides to stop waiting. So the people that are taking action now are going to benefit from that. So why don't we just say it out loud, introduce yourself, and say why you're here to this specific event. I know both of you have been to previous events, but say why you're here at this specific event.
My name is Julianne. I am actually a registered nurse, and I'm here because I'm thinking about ways I can branch out and diversify and do different things with myself.
Ooh, that is awesome. Yeah. We have another one in the community that is actually almost a registered nurse.
Yeah, she goes to GVSU, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's coming in hot. She's one of those people that were stuck at an appointment. So, gotcha. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, all right.
I'm Amy, and I am an interior designer, and I'm here just because I love the topics of like real estate and investing and goal setting and women all doing the same. So
awesome. Love it. Good. All right, and I am here, and I am doing these things and have done them, and I'm updating mine for 2025 because we have big real estate goals and investing goals, helping families with real estate. I'll be sharing more about that as I go along and explain the tools to you with our goal setting. So we have big goals for that for 2025 and how we are going to be working together to achieve that. So, all right, and if you are joining on YouTube, I think we're just on YouTube, not Facebook and YouTube. If you are joining on YouTube, let us know who you are. Let us know what, why you're here tonight. And hopefully you can make it in person next month. So we are going to have an activity. I am going to give you all a couple of minutes to journal. So this very first question is leadership. Your goals for 2025 are going to rise and fall on self-leadership, because you have to lead yourself first before you can lead anyone else, whether that's in business or your family. Self-leadership. So the question that I am asking you is, how are you practicing self-leadership? So if all goes according to plan, I am going to give you a little thinking music. Let's see, and 2 minutes to jot down and be very honest about how you are leading yourself. There, I've got the timer going. And I've asked my computer to do too many things at once. Yay, you are here.
I made it.
How are you?
It's definitely sign in, do your
Okay.
name tag, and then I've got a seat for you up here. It's very interactive tonight,
Oh, boy.
so you guys are all going to be needing to chit chat with each other, and you're going to be so happy that you were here live. It's really hard to be the DJ and the slide presenter all at the same time. All right, we've got 30 more seconds. How are you leading yourself? Julianne rode her bike here. How cool is that?
Thank you. Yeah, it was nice and warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna have Julianne and Amy go first and just jot down, because your goals rise and fall on self-leadership, on leading yourself. So just jot a couple of notes while they're talking on how you are leading yourself.
Oh boy.
All right, so. All right, music stopped perfectly on time. So Julianne, do you want to share?
Sure. I said taking accountability, identifying strengths and weaknesses, and seeking out learning opportunities for personal growth.
Oh, you're doing all of those things.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you. God, you are on it. Love it. All right. Amy?
So I said investing in myself first, putting on my own oxygen mask. So like my health, and putting myself in, like what you said, just, good personal growth opportunities, but especially like with other women. And also focusing on my schedule, like pre-planning my schedule.
We are going to talk about that. And you are going to love the tools. Yes. Okay. So I don't know if you had a chance to catch up, Jessica, coming in hot.
Just gonna go off the cuff here.
Yeah, go off the cuff.
Similar though, creating a routine for myself, like trying to be more intentional with my time and where I spend my time, between work and like balancing that with also personal life, because that fills my cup, even though I'm passionate about what I do for a living, but I gotta fill my cup outside of work too. So trying to find those moments.
Well, one of Gary Keller's quotes is, well, it's actually a quote from The One Thing. So these are a whole bunch of resources that I pull from all the time, and we're pulling from for tonight, is success is a counterbalancing act. And, you can never be completely balanced. You're always just counterbalancing. There's 7 different areas of your life that you're constantly juggling. And so it's counterbalancing. So thank you. I love all of the very authentic answers. So this next thing that I'm going to share with you is called MVBBP. And I know I'm going to be throwing some acronyms at you tonight, but I am doing my best to explain them to you because they are so powerful when you finally understand them. And I'll tell you how I struggled with some of these, and then how you learn to teach and you teach to learn. You're constantly learning. And so just even preparing for tonight gave me clarity on some of the things. So MVVP is a tongue twister, but it's an acronym for mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspective. And it's a term that is used to describe the culture of Keller Williams. And the culture is based, on the idea that helping others can lead to a good feeling and motivation. So just to give you an idea of some of the values that Keller Williams has is win-win, integrity, customers, always putting customers first, just to give you an idea, commitment, communication, creativity. I know when Steve and I did our first values exercise, very first, with a financial planner years ago, we had so many values on sticky notes all over the wall. And it was really hard to pare it down to just 3 or just 5. But you know yourself the best. And really getting it down to 3 or 5 values is helpful. And I'm sharing that story with you because I'm saying that we struggled, but over the years, it's become clearer and clearer what those are. And I know I'm starting in the middle because I just wanted to share a story with you to let you know that you're not going to start with perfection. And I'll never forget how many sticky notes we had. So many. It was overwhelming. But now, and back then, I used to never remember even what they were, like could never even name them. Now they are rock solid. Family, fun, and what's the other one, Steve? Our values, we just talked about it the other night. Freedom, yeah. So one of the things that we also do on a regular basis is meet with our family. So Steve and I meet, and then we also meet with our family too, now that they're adults. We have adult kids. And everyone told us their values, which is really interesting too. So something that you can do with friends or family. But mission. And mission is, what is your purpose? So on your handout, there are some thought-provoking questions under each one. What is your purpose? Why are you in your career or your business? And you obviously love to help people. Yeah. Being in nursing. Vision. Sorry, let me work off of this so I can see what's on your sheet. What is my purpose? Why am I here? Why am I in my business or career? That's mission. And you've probably done mission statements before, right? And the mission, it was really hard for me. The other thing I wanted to share with you is that it was also really hard for me to understand the difference between mission and vision. Is anyone else kind of struggling with that? And I actually, for years, was like, I can't do that. It's vision is the bigger thing, and mission is the boots on the ground thing that you can see. But when you read what the definition is, and I finally was like, okay, I get it. What are the short-term goals? Vision, that's what you can see, because you can't always see everything. That will lead me to my long-term goals, which is a mission. What's your mission in life? And that will ultimately, done right, will extend beyond your lifetime. So and that was something I could understand and wrap my brain around. And so hopefully, does that make it a little more concrete for you? So that's what I was hoping to do tonight, is like distill some of these really big thoughts, because this is going to be your funnel for your goals for 2025. This helps you, this is the filter that you're going to be running everything through until it gets to your schedule, because it all goes back to your schedule. So we're going to get to that. So I am going to give you a couple of minutes again, and okay, these are big things that we're doing. I get it. But often when we give people space, so I want to commend you for coming tonight, because when else do you give yourself space to do this? It's hard, and you're interrupted. And guess what? You're not going to be interrupted here. And often when I go back to our events that we've gone to together and look at my notes, I'm blown away by what I wrote in just a couple of minutes and like how clear it was, because you are focused. So mission, what are your long-term goals? Vision, what are those short-term goals that will lead you to the long-term goals? Values, what is important to you? And that's usually three words, 5 words. Beliefs are going to come with time. Those are the things like simplicity is a discipline, and things like 2 vows don't make a right. Those are beliefs. And when you say things over and over again to yourself, whether it's your family or at work or whatever, those are your beliefs. What is helping you navigate. And your perspective is what is your current situation. So this one is going to take like 5 minutes, and so I want you to really think. I'm giving you space, and you can do this, continue it at home. I know you're not going to be able to flush everything out in 5 minutes, but go ahead, and again, I'm going to give you a timer. Okay, we got the timer going. See what you can jot down. And I'll try to give you some thinking music. Here's my music. Got like another 2 minutes. you guys need another couple minutes? I know they are big questions, but the main thing is I wanted to explain it to you so you could think about it. And honestly, the mission and vision and values, you can nail those. Like if you really just sit down with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or a glass of wine, you can nail those things. Perspective too, because that's where you're starting. That's where you're starting. So that's pretty easy. But the beliefs, that is something that they're going to bubble up every single day. So there's going to be a tool that I'm going to share with you in a little bit. And my MVBVP is on that tool. So this isn't something that I look at once a year and edit. I'm looking at it. It's a tab that's open on my computer every single day that I'm working. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I am curious, were there any big ahas that you guys had in doing this exercise? And online, if there are any big ahas, please comment because we'll be able to see and we can share those. I feel like when you write in the moment, things just come out.
For perspective, I chose a career path as a young adult from the perspective I had them. Now I'm trying to go in a different direction.
Yeah, I think you're the only one with that. Oh, excuse me? Repeat. Oh, okay. So Juliana said that she chose a career path as a young adult. And now that you are a little bit older, you are evolving and just thinking about different things.
Yep.
So that's very healthy, very common. Any big ahas for you, Amy?
To me, it's I'm not necessarily going in a different direction, but I feel like I'm going deeper with what I've been doing. So I'm in the design space and homes, and I've always loved that. I've always loved the creativity of that. But the older I get, the more I feel it evolving beyond home into like lifestyle and how people live, and why are you even caring about this in the first place, and how does it make you feel? How does it make your family feel? And it's becoming kind of, and for me specifically, it's always been women, because women are the backbone of a lot of things, and your home is too. And so just that progression, even within my own career, of kind of even some of the why of why I even do what I do.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, so you were speaking nice and loud. Do we have to repeat that, do you think? Do you think that was picked up? You think it was good? Yeah, okay. I think that's awesome. What a great takeaway from that. And were there any ahas for you, Miss Jessica?
Probably not ahas, but similar to Amy, figuring out what that next step is for me. I'm finding more and more as I progress into my career that freedom to do what I want and maybe more of an ownership over what I do is growing more and more important to me, having a little bit more control over my own destiny. So for me, maybe the aha is seeing myself as on the owner side versus the working for somebody else side all the time, and what that potential could be. Still in an infancy of thought stage, but that's starting to bubble up more and more.
Just a different.
Think about flexibility in life and what is more important in my life these days.
You brought a really good point up. So, did you guys get to your beliefs or not yet? Okay, and I probably scared you about the beliefs too. I can't think of those.
I'm not writing those right now.
What you just said is a belief.
Yeah.
That, like, what you you have experienced is a belief in one way. So one of the things that has become clear to me over time, and again, this is just a great framework for anyone, and like just growth in general. But I love the tools that they give us because they just make so much sense. What are those limiting beliefs? And it sounds like you just broke through a limiting belief. I have always been this, but I believe I can have one of mine. I believe I can have a big business and a big life. It doesn't have to be one or the other. So it's almost, we're going to talk about reverse engineering in a little bit, but it's almost like reversing out those limiting beliefs. So whenever you hear that chirping, pay attention to that. And hopefully you will now have your MVP in a place that is accessible to you, so you can reverse it and make sure you get that statement on your beliefs. And your beliefs can at some point become your affirmations, because they will help drive everything. So that is a big exercise and not one that can be completed in 5 minutes, but I wanted to give you these frameworks, this framework, a couple of different frameworks that you can use and really think about over the next couple of weeks. And this is so great that we're doing this in October, because it's such a scramble through the holidays, and then the year starts and you feel like, oh my gosh, what was I supposed to be doing again? And you have given yourself such a gift to be able to think about it. You can think about it, and then we can start moving into the strategy phase. So that's your MVP. Any questions on that? Can you share one of your values?
I said that I value consistency, transparency, and fostering trust.
Nice. Very clear. I love that.
I said authenticity, integrity, love, and joy.
Great.
I had flexibility, family and friends, and time to be inspired.
All right, you guys, you're doing so well. All right, let me pull my notes back up here so we can be efficient. Okay, and this is the cool thing, is that when your MVP are clear, decisions are easy. They're easy because you are crystal clear on what's driving you. And it's all of those things. And you've taken the time to really understand them. And if you do have a partner in life, it's great to be on the same page there. You won't be completely on the same page, but as long as you're going in the same direction, it's good. So in doing these exercises that we've already done, and we're going to get clear on this, was there one big goal, or tonight when you were coming, is there one big goal that bubbled up for you? Like, was there one reason, like, oh, I want to do this and I want the roadmap on how to do this?
I guess for me, like, you know, how you said at the beginning that chances are I became a nurse because I wanted to help people. That's true. And now I've decided that maybe I want to help people in a different way.
Yes.
So I kind of just started writing that I would really like to be in the position to help educate women about like personal finance and how to like really be the master of that for themselves. And
sister, you are in the right place.
Yeah. So I've been learning a lot myself over this last year, and I want to keep learning more so I can help people in my life.
Good. That's what we're fostering this community to do. That's awesome. Any big goals? And if one specific one hasn't bubbled up, it will.
I've been working on scaling my business, and I've tried different things in different ways. So that goal has been around for me. I really just like the chance to like sit and have clarity, because I have plenty of big ideas. It's more of like, what are the big ideas that align with your vision and goals and all the things? And you know,
I could do this, and I could do that, and I could do this, and what if I did this?
Oh my gosh. I've got you, because just hold on to your horses, because that's coming. Well, and
Just help me find one goal to narrow it down.
well, hi. Can you make sure you sign in? Sure. And then what is your name?
Katie.
Katie. And I can give you, 1 second. You guys are making my segues so easy. And it's
You.
okay. So, is that on your sheet? I don't think your big goal is on your sheet. Yeah. Oh, yes, it is. Okay. So that brings us to one of the next tools that I wanted to share with you. So once you get your mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives, and this is all being recorded, so Katie, you can go back and watch it.
Sure.
So catch up and everything. Once you get those down and you come up with your goal, a way to, your next step is called a GPS. And that stands for goals, priorities, and strategies. And GPS is normally a global positioning system that tells you where you're going, where you are in space at the moment, and timing, because it all goes back to timing too. So the term GPS is from this book, The One Thing. Have you guys read this book?
Yes, I've read it.
You've read it? Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Quick read. Super quick read. So good. #1 bestseller on so many different lists. And it was written by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. And so this idea of a GPS comes from The One Thing. And what you want to do is you want to put one goal, 3 priorities for that goal, and 5 strategies. So when you lock in on what that one goal is, and you've got time to think, you guys, that's the blessing of you being here. So I'll give you an example of mine. Our goal for 2025 is to help 30 families with their real estate needs. And that can be sellers, priority #1, buyers, priority #2, and investors, priority #3. So then under each one of those priorities are 5 different strategies on how you're going to achieve that priority. Does that make sense? So it like takes your goal, and instead of just saying, I want to make this, or I want to, have 5 investment properties by the end of 2025, it really makes you slow down and figure out how you're going to do that. So it is, it's, of course, if you want, more than the 10-minute dissertation of this, it's in the book, so you can get the book. But you can take a minute, and I'll give you a minute to write down your, I love all the different tools you guys have. First of all, Amy is writing in a totally different color, which is so artistic. And then Jess is the technology. That's awesome. So a couple of tips for using the GPS method. So you'll hear this called the GPS. You might hear it called, it used to be called the 135. So if you're Googling this later, you might see that. Don't be confused. I'm trying to circumvent all the confusion that I have had over the years to you and say, this is how you use it, and this is what it is. This is what you do. So set a deadline for yourself. Give yourself time to choose your goal, but set a deadline to achieve it, because you always need that timeliness. One other tip is you ask a focusing question, and I would love for you to just jot this down. It's not on your sheet, so if you can put it up here, or I don't know where you're going to put it, Jessica, on your sheet.
I don't know.
But you can just write it on this sheet. Is what's the one thing I can do to make everything else easier or unnecessary? So Amy, I want to scale my business. Like, first of all, you have to say what that means. But when you go back and look at that goal, you keep asking yourself, what's the one thing that I can do that's going to make everything else easier or unnecessary? What's the one thing I can do to make everything else easier or unnecessary? So I am giving, oh my gosh, we are right on time. Go us. And Steve, is anybody chatting online? Do we have to answer any questions or give anyone?
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay. A couple other tips as you are jotting some notes is, we're going to dive into this a little bit later. Consider what you're saying no to, because in order to say yes to your one thing, you are saying no to all of those other great ideas that you have out there. And choose something meaningful that obviously aligns with your MVBVP. So I will give you a couple of minutes to just jot yourself some notes, because again, things bubble up when you just have space. You guys, this is white space. You know what? I'm going to play music from my phone so we're not messing up slides. Teddy's favorite playlist. Katie, you came from Holland.
Yes.
Wow, good job. Last time people came from California. Holland is great. Holland is great. I wanted to share a couple of things that popped up for me, and I feel like giving you examples kind of, is that helpful? Just using these tools for so long and failing forward every single day with them and struggling with the mission and vision, and then struggling with the beliefs until I realized, oh, those are going to bubble up over time. And I'll realize as I keep saying things, like they just come out of your mouth and you're like, oh, that's what I believe. We're listening to the what's the negative, and then you've got to reverse it. So, Juliana, I loved what you said about your perspective. And I actually brought this to share with someone tonight. She might be coming in hot late, but so I'm gonna just hang with me for a second. So I identified and still do as a gardener for so long, and so this is our family cookbook, and it says a green thumb is earned. And the same goes for success in your health, wealth, and relationships, because the same rules apply. And that's why I use the way that I sign off my emails and letters is plant good seeds, because we're constantly planting good seeds. So even like you said, I help people, but now I want to help people in a different way.
Right.
I garden, and I garden now in a different way, because all of this is just a metaphor for health, wealth, and relationships. And such abundance can come from it. So I think this one's, I can't remember how I did this one. Oh no, this one's right. So just huge amount of abundance, and to have a good plan. So Jessica is the one that drew this up for me a long time ago.
Oh my gosh.
And then we implemented it over time, but it's time, 18 years. So think about 18 years from today, what is possible? Think about what is possible a year, 5 years, scaling your business. Amy, compound that over time if you're focusing on one thing. Think about a magnifying glass and what the sunlight does through a magnifying glass versus not. That's your scaling. So helping people, gardening. And then the other thing that I wanted to share is design. You know, we all know each other through design. And I thought, if I have the ability to see things before they happen, why can't I apply that same gift that I have to real estate, to business? I can create whatever it is I want to create. Why can't I use those skills in a different way to grow businesses? So if that helps at all. And then also going back to the self-leadership, those are your habits. And my habits are also on this tool that I'm going to show you in a little bit. And I just didn't want to forget to say that, because I'm not going to share my personal one online, but I'm happy to share it with you after class. So that's the benefit of coming in person. I will show it to you. So is this all helping, these examples and how you think?
Yeah.
It's really thinking about things just a little bit differently and more strategically. And these tools are giving you the framework to go from like a big idea on your mission in life, and then it's going to fine tune it down to your calendar. So, all right. So ahas from your GPS. Anyone want to share?
I just like how it breaks it down. It's always
do
helpful
too.
for me because I know my goal, but it's also showing me where I need to clarify what the goal is, first of all. But then just having I like the format of this because it was pretty easy to come up with my first two priorities based off of what I want to do. So
Good.
Yeah.
And you might fine tune those too. I mean, everything is always kind of evolving and a work in progress, but it gives you a framework to use to make it happen. So, anything? Did you have a chance to catch up at all?
Well, I do a lot of goal planning. I do it in a different way.
Okay.
So like I have like a good system for my goals. So not that I don't like the system as well,
Yeah.
like, and I like the one thing. But I think it's helpful to have like one overall goal. I think of things like as like the 12-week year where you're like trying to like try to do like 12-week sort of goals.
Working quarter.
And working quarters. So I thought of like a big goal, then I was thinking of like, what would my Q1 goal be? Because right now I'm working on my Q4 goal. So thinking about that was helpful too.
Good. Good. Anyone, Jess?
I actually wrote down a goal.
Yay! Okay.
Mine was more around, well, what's this goal that gets me to the next goal is kind of how I tackled it. So this initial goal was, how do I get, or wanting to gain more financial freedom to like step into that next chapter. So like paying off small debts, paying off student loan debt that I still carry. Like how can I now strategize to continue to have more freedom financially to be able to do these other things that I want to do and create within my own life.
And thank you so much for the segue to next month's event.
Like we planned all of this. I don't know.
You were not planning, but next month's event is all about that freedom number, and we have Megan Flake who will be joining us virtually from Austin. And we were in a net worth club with Megan, and she's going to teach us how to do all of that. So that will just be perfect for you. Yes. Okay. All right. So I already shared mine. So let's move on to the next thing. So, okay. So sometimes what's really hard is when you set these big goals, like my financial freedom, it's really hard to bring it back to something that's a little more concrete today. So how do we connect that big goal to what we are doing today? We've got a someday goal, which is that kind of big picture goal that you're shooting for the stars with, that you can distill down into 5 year, that you can distill down into 1 year, like based on my 5-year goal, what is the one thing I can do this year, this coming year, to be able to hit my goal in 2030. 2030. Are we in, I feel like I'm in a time warp. And then for a 1-year goal, based on my 1-year goal, what is the one thing I can do this month? I love the fact that you're thinking in quarters, so that you can even put a quarter in there too. And then for the month, based on my monthly goal, what do I need to do this week? Based on my weekly goal, what do I need to do today? And based on that daily goal, what do I need to do right now? So that brings us to the third tool that I wanted to share with you. They're just helpful tools. And this is called the 411. So I am old, and we used to dial 411 on our phones, on our landlines, with cords. And that was information. And you got phone numbers from 411, and I think you could maybe ask them anything else too. I'm not quite sure, but that is kind of the play on words here. But it's 4 weeks, 1 month, and 1 year. And so our design friends probably are going to have a different look for their 411 if you do choose to use this tool. People that are more left-brained well, is it right brain? Let's see, right brain. No, okay. No, people that are more left brain, right-handed, probably going to want to use a spreadsheet. So, or maybe you're a mix of both and you can make your spreadsheet pretty. So anyway, it's really nice to use a spreadsheet for all sorts of different reasons, but your 411 can look like anything you want it to look like. And you have your annual goals, you have your monthly goals, and then you have your weekly goals. And that is also, I kind of gave you a little bit of an outline for it in the back. So if you just use this for an example, you can take your goal that you set on the other page and break it down into like January. For January, what could your goal look like for the month of January? And then in January, break that down into the 4 weeks. And because our goals and our achievements rise and fall on our ability to self-lead, your personal goals should be on there too, because we all have to stay healthy, mind, body, and soul, to be able to do these things. And I think, Jessica, you mentioned at the beginning that it's really important for you to counterbalance that personal life with your career and your other big picture goals. So that is why you will see that there is personal and business goals on there. So take a second and give yourself the space. We'll play some more Justice Dirt. It just got really cold in here. What is up with that? What is that? Did the air, I think the air kicked on. The air kicked on. Mm-hmm.
It's not warm.
It's almost Halloween, the air conditioning is still on. Okay. Okay. All right. 411. You guys have any questions on it? No? Does it give you a little bit more of a way to break down that big vision, that big mission, those big goals into now? So one of the things that you might hear, if you do choose to read the book or look at anything online, you'll hear goal setting to the now. And I don't know why, but it makes sense when you hear it. Goal setting to the now, like, makes sense. For some reason, it always just evaded me. I was like, I just don't get that. So some people call it reverse engineering, taking that big goal and reverse engineering it. Seeing that visual really helps goal setting to right now. Like, what does this mean that I have to do right now? And then what's the other? There's one more term that people use. Hold on. Oh, beginning with the end in mind. You guys have heard that. Begin with the end in mind. So that's why we started with the MVVP, because you're beginning with that end, but now we're breaking it down into bite-sized chunks. Okay, so this next part you're going to probably think is silly, but it's hard. So, and we have to practice it, because once you have your 411, once you get it all written down, you're really not done yet. Because if you have it written on a paper or you have it written on the spreadsheet, where is it not? We've already talked about this. On your calendar. So, again, my 411 did not start like this, but I finally got to a point and finally attended enough information sessions where it sunk into me to say, oh, it's got to go from my 411 to my calendar. So I'm giving you all the pro tips. Nobody ever has to struggle like I struggled. So it goes from your 411. So whatever you have written there for the week, Jessica, you've got to have time blocks for that on your calendar. So your calendar has to get really, really tight, because by tight, I mean organized. Not like things have to be tightly together, but it just has to be organized, and you have to be systemized with your calendar. So what type of calendar do you use? Like on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. And Google.
Outlook and Google.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I used Mac Calendar until and over the last couple of years, I switched to Google Cal, which is so nice. There's lots of benefits to that. But anyway, whatever your calendar of choice is, a couple of tips on that. We're not going to do a deep dive. We could talk for the whole 90 minutes on calendar, but to have your time blocks color-coded, so you know if your time block for your goal is green and it's not on your calendar, you'll see it. You'll see it really fast. Oh my gosh, that's not on my calendar. Or you're trying to counterbalance those relationships, and the relationships are dark blue and you don't see them on your calendar. That's a problem. Or you can be excited when you do open a new month or week and you see some blue on there. Does that make sense? Do you color code your calendar?
I don't know.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. You do already. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So those are some tips. So I have my 411 on a spreadsheet, and I have a box with a check mark in it. And the check mark doesn't mean that it's done. The check mark means that it's on my calendar. So once I update my 411, then I go and update my calendar. And once I do that, then I check that box. So I am going to have you pick one of these things. Just pick one.
I'll take this little guy right here.
Okay. Pick any which one. Okay. Okay, so Jessica and Katie, you guys are together, and Amy and Juliana are together. You have to read your question to the other person, and if that question doesn't align with what you have written down tonight, you've got to say no. And no is hard, and no is a complete sentence. So again, some of these things, I tried to make them a little silly, but my guess is that there'll be a no. There might be a yes, I don't know. So go ahead and spin around.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Do you want to take a photography
mine
class with me?
Do you want
That sounds so fun, but it doesn't really fit within my schedule and what I'm doing. But when you go and do it, I want to see all your photos.
Okay, cool.
That would be awesome.
Okay.
They both sound fun.
Do you want to sing your heart out with my friends at a karaoke bar?
I do like them once in a while, but I like the price tag that goes along with them.
Oh yeah.
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're not doing it every night, so I should probably
We can schedule
get
that.
out there and have some
Calendar
fun.
that in.
You know, I think that'll work for me.
I should have given it a caveat like multiple times. Which ones did you guys get?
Want to go to Cedar Point?
No.
It was no.
Easy one.
Easy no.
I'm a roller coaster person, you know.
Oh yeah.
So I wasn't tempted. Mine was wanting to go to dinner with me. She said no right away. I was a little surprised.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was like that extreme.
Thinking about, it's not extreme, but thinking about my goal and what I was writing down, I chose to say no.
Because you might need that time at night
I
too.
might need that time or that money I'd spend on dinner out for another goal
Yeah.
right now. So
Yeah, and again, like they're not perfect, but it does take practice to say no, and just know that it is. Let me go to the next slide. You're saying no to say yes, and you have a limited amount of yeses, but you have unlimited nos, and that is your magnifying glass. Those yeses are your magnifying glass. Does that help you? So I wanted to have practice doing it because it is hard. And no thank you is fine. No thanks.
Although I kind of wanted to do the karaoke.
I mean,
It's fun at karaoke.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not doing it every night, you know.
yeah, and one of them I added like for 4 weeks.
Every night.
every
No.
night.
You know. The
Uh,
worst grandpa gay ever.
I was. So let's just go around, and I appreciate everybody being so interactive. I thought this would really help because it helps hearing other people's things and helps you fine tune yours. What's the main thing you're taking away from tonight, or what are you most excited about? You want to start, Julie?
Yeah, I'm thinking about the 411. I really like that organization system. It's something I've never done before, and I think that it could be very effective. So I'm thinking I would like to try and start implementing that in my life.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
So it's a tab that is always open on my computer. Mine does happen to be a spreadsheet. You can make it a doc if you want a doc. And the next tab that's open is my calendar. So it goes 411 calendar, and then some of my other important things are on the left. That's why I always have so many tabs open, is that a couple of them are always there. And you check in with it daily. and it's already on your calendar. So really, you're just crossing things off. And another pro tip on the 411, and it's really not going to happen any other way, is you need an accountability buddy. So find that person. And the best people, if your kids are a little bit older, are your kids, because you do not want to disappoint your kids or not show up as a leader of yourself to your kids. So every week I have a 411 with our daughter Eleanor.
Cool.
And she does hers to me and I do mine to her. So just an idea. Or you can find a friend. Or
Yeah, I'm in an accountability group, actually. We meet weekly and we all set goals, like the 12-week goals. And we have like SMART goals to go toward the 12-week goal. And it works really well. And then we have like percentages, like how many, like, you know, like a SMART goal, like where it's like, I'll read this for an hour to get toward whatever goal you're going to, or like I'll do this for an hour to do this, you know, so
cool. Yeah, the accountability is key.
it really helps.
It's really, really easy to hide if you're not accountable, or set these goals. Like, and another pro tip from the 411 that makes me so happy is to have a relationship with your goals. They're not just things that you look at every year. So like you're in your accountability group, you're constantly looking at them every week, and you're not going to show up to that accountability group without having your work done.
Yes.
Or there might be a really good reason why it's not done. But it's a relationship with the goals. They're not these things that you write down in October for 2025 and never look at them again. You're constantly looking at them and refining them, and you have a relationship with them. So, Amy?
I would say probably just going back to my big goal and like doing more of a deep dive with like the priorities and strategies, because I think that's actually going to take me less time than I think it will. So just to get really dialed in and using that, and then taking it, because it's easy for me to be really overwhelmed with a big goal, even though I have a lot of big goals and ideas.
Yeah.
But it's just the implementation part can be hard as a visionary person. So I like, that's what I'm looking forward to doing, is just going back and doing that, mapping it out more.
So it makes me so happy that scaling is your goal. That's so cool. I love that. And you know your superpower, and you just mentioned what your blind spot was. And so finding an accountability partner that can help you with that, would be great. Or maybe that's your hire.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to hire that person. Do you ever do a disc profile?
I have.
Yeah.
It's
So-
a long time ago, but
You need to find someone on the office.
exactly. That's actually
Yeah.
I think so. So yeah.
Yes. So it's so interesting. Jessica, your big aha or takeaway, or the thing you're excited about?
I'm excited to try both the GPS and the 411 and see which one kind of works best for me. Like, go through both of them
Mm-hmm.
and be like, okay, this seems more manageable, or this does. Like, which one's going to apply best to this first goal that I have to get there? So I'm looking forward to spending more time with those.
Yeah, you
and starting to
definitely
map them out. And
Time, and I hope you guys time block that time. Time block things that are important for you. So over the next couple of weeks, find what those time blocks are and then protect them. That's the hardest part, protecting them. So Steve and I have a board meeting every month. And, well, I think we mentioned this. Didn't we mention this at the last class? That our last board meeting was interrupted 3 times?
Yeah. by
In
people
1
that
hour.
come in, Right.
3 times. And we did end up finishing, and we did finish early, but it was interrupted. And we could have easily just like bailed on it, but we didn't. So, yeah, turn off phones and all that stuff. Did you want to share your biggest takeaway or aha, something that you might implement, or
Oh, the calendar. I'm pretty excited about that. The color coding the calendar.
color coding?
Well, also doing the calendar. I don't time block always for some things, and there's like one like micro goal I have right now that I have not been doing very well, And every week at my accountability group, I'm like, oh, I kind of failed this one. And so now I'm like, oh, I want to just put on my calendar every day to do that. Because it's like, it's an easy thing. It's like a 15-minute touch I want to do, but I haven't been doing it. So I'm just going to use my calendar for that.
And then if you put it on your calendar and it's still not happening, maybe that's not the best time for you to
Reassess.
do whatever it is. We all have different times of the day where we're more productive than others. So you have to play with that, and it's a work in progress. So thank you guys. That's awesome. Form a relationship with your goals. So the one reminder is form a relationship with your goals. And then I always want to go back to this because sometimes when you're thinking about your big mission in life or something that seems like Mount Everest for you to tackle, it can get daunting, and courage comes first. So, but then you commit. You have to commit to it. And I'm so glad to see you guys showing back up and back up. That's commitment. Consistency will give you competence. Competence over time leads to confidence, and confidence over time leads to certainty, and certainty over time leads to conviction. So I think about you, Jessica, and your freedom number, and the courage that it's going to take you to maybe do some of these things that you need to do that are different than you have been doing. And I practice all these too, and I hate that my family knows these because they give them right back to me all the time. And so hopefully that helps you. And you're in healthcare. Are you in real estate?
I'm an attorney, but then an investor. And then
Okay,
my husband's a
but
realtor.
not an agent. I just want
No,
to.
my husband's a realtor.
Oh, okay. I always will end the events with a deal. So if there are agents, obviously this is your deal. Your husband can look at this too. But if this is a great deal that happens to be downtown, North Monroe, if you or anyone you know is interested, 940 Monroe Avenue. It's on North Monroe. It's in Boardwalk. Just such a cool place, in a cool building, in a cool area.
With cool neighbors.
With really cool neighbors. Yeah, right upstairs. And across the street. And that area is going to get so much renovation. I don't know if you know what the master plan is for that area. So again, if you or anyone you know is interested, let me know online. Let me know. I'm happy to help you. And I can help you or anyone you know with real estate needs anywhere in the world. So consider us your global real estate team. And has anyone downloaded the net worth tracker yet? Have you played with it?
Yeah.
That makes me so happy. Yay! Have you?
Downloaded. I haven't done anything with it yet, though.
Is it time, or was it confusing?
Not confusing, more so the time and just committing my time to doing it. Go back to that time blocking and say no to things.
Yes, going back to your calendar. So even if you just put like 1 hour sometime when you could when maybe that's when you scroll or do something that maybe isn't serving your big picture goal, just put that time on. You only have to do it for that time. It's like showing up to the gym. Like, I just have to show up. And then once you get there, you have fun or whatever, and you move and you might get into a flow. Or if not, then you stop and then you pick it up the next week on that time. But the way that I have it designed is so helpful because you put your revenue producing investments all in one spot. And if you're putting things that you've spent your money on below the line, it just is such like a concrete reminder of where your money should be and how it takes time and skill and you're weeding and watering and nurturing But if you don't take the time to even know, you're not going to be able to weed and water and cultivate. So you can get to the abundant part. Steve and I were talking about investing. Oh my gosh, I don't know if it was last night or this morning. But when Stevie was little, Stevie's our oldest, he's 27 now, we said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And Steve, what was his answer?
The easiest.
He said, what's easiest?
Oh my goodness. What a smart kid.
I know. And back then we were just like,
What? Never become a nurse.
what's easiest? And we were talking about investing and having your money work for you while you sleep. It does not get a break. It does not get a day off. It just keeps compounding. But it takes such intention to be able to do that, and discipline, saying no so you can say yes to other things. So did you guys find this helpful?
Yeah, we did.
I thought that was Stevie has said very many profound things throughout his life, and we literally just realized yesterday how profound that was. It really threw us when he said, what's easiest? Huh?
He's an engineer.
He's an engineer.
He's an
It's not the
engineer.
easiest.
Yeah, he really, but loves business now. So
Well, that makes sense to business owners.
yeah, investing his time and talents in business. And also the, and I'm happy because I want feedback on the net worth tracker. Like, this is confusing, this is not intuitive, because we can constantly be making it better so more people can use it, more women can use it. And I didn't fact check this, but I saw something pop up on Facebook while I was waiting for everyone tonight. And remember how I said 50 years ago, like I think at our first event, like 50 years ago, it was just 50 years ago that women had the ability to get a mortgage, get a business loan. I saw something pop up today, that today is the anniversary of that.
Whoa.
50 years. That's it. So helping, because my mission is, well, my vision is helping women build wealth, because more money in the hands of women will change the world. And I have to switch it, because forever I said it the opposite way, but I'm going with the tools. So the mission is that women everywhere will have freedom, equality, and choice. And choice, by choice, I mean she will be free. She will have the freedom to not be enslaved by somebody else. So she belongs in school. That's a belief. She belongs in school. You know, she gets her own identity. So it's not a political statement. It's just, it goes back to women just having the ability to live their life the way they want to. And we can all help women all over the world with our resources by doing that. So that's why I'm up here teaching on an 80-degree day in October. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for joining online. An email will go out tomorrow with all of these incredible resources. Has anyone read this?
No.
You're probably, you're homeowners, but you're not. Are you a homeowner?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you said you were an investor.
Mm-hmm.
This is so fun and so funny to read. Like, it is so great. Just even if you are thinking of taking the next step into investing, this just breaks down the whole buying process into much more relatable terms, because sometimes it just gets so, you know, we're in the business, so we understand it, and we understand what these acronyms are and all those things. This just makes it so personable. So this is just a great book for investors also. So, and it's a great gift to give. So I love these tools. The things that I shared with you are in back here of this. It's just this is just a great business book. It is honestly just a great business book. Then of course we have our investor book and the one thing. These are all the resources that I pulled from for tonight. Thank you for showing up live. I appreciate you guys. And our next event, November 19th, Knowing Your Financial Freedom Number with Megan Flake. She knows when she's going to become a billionaire. So how's that for financial freedom? And we'll send out the reminders for that and everything, and all of that. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm happy to, goodbye everybody online.